We haven't talked about guys in a long time on this podcast.
I know. Yeah.
Soak it up. We're going to be talking about bugs the next 5 episodes. So you better soak up this dude cock.
We have this pot that like when it's heating up and like water's boiling in it, it like wiggles. And so I'm always like, James, the pan dance. And then we do this.
Oh my God. For anyone who can't see, they're just doing that shimmy thing with your shoulders.
Yeah. And I'm like, James, the pan dance. And then we're both like, oh God.
I thought you were going to tell me every time I see the pan wiggling, I'm just like, I love my dog. She's like that. And I was just like, geez, you're just going in circles of like Betty ideas.
I know, yeah. I do love that stupid animal. Anyway, welcome to Worthless Clowns.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns, the podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell. My Instagram's Britonis Cardwell. Oh, Allie's
drinking a beer. And I'm Ali O'Neill. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Ali O'Neill and follow the pod on Instagram at Worthless Clowns. And subscribe to our YouTube.
Subscribe to the YouTube. You can see us doing our little shimmy dance. I won't do it. Because I have to pretend to do it at home first. I only pretend dance.
Brittany's always pretending to dance.
That's why I hate it, because I'm like, this isn't real.
Yeah, you're like, this isn't me. I don't know who I am, but it's definitely not this.
It's not. How have you been?
Fucking regular, dude.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I barely saw you this week.
Yeah. What did I do?
I'm sure I saw her 2 days ago.
Yeah, because I didn't see you Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see you last night. No, we talked over FaceTime last night.
No. I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind last night.
Oh,
with
good
Katrina
movie.
And Vernon.
Oh.
Very good movie. I haven't seen it in so long. I've seen it twice, but I think the last time I saw it was probably 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's a fucking great
so
movie.
good.
It's so good, dude.
I'd forgotten. I remembered the gist of it. I remembered the deleting each other part, but I forgot all the fun, cool stuff. David Cross is in it as well. A bunch of good people are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if Jim Carrey ever did another sad movie. Did he do another sad movie?
I thought he did a bunch of sad movies.
Oh.
Truman Show.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I mean, Truman Show almost feels like a comedy.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I can't remember that well.
It's a dramedy.
Yeah, because he's kind of being made fun of in the whole thing in a way, because he's the focus.
I think it's only sad near the end when he realizes that his world is all fake.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of stuff of him. No, but also like when he's in the world, I think he's like, it's like a classic like 1999 movie where a guy has like a home and a wife and kids and like a job that pays the bills. Yeah. And then he's like, I hate the system.
Yeah.
It's like that's
American
what, like,
Beauty,
Fight Club,
yeah,
Office Space. There's like a million movies
so many of those
that came out in 1999 that are like, God, the economy's too good.
It's like,
so I have to complain about something else. Yeah.
What are we doing with all these perfect things in our lives?
I know.
That's exactly what my parents were trying to get at the time, too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And like, I'm like,
movies come out, they're like, these movies suck, because they're questioning their like
everything that they've worked for their entire
drive
lives
right now.
Yeah. But that's the whole point of those movies, is that like the parents of these people promised them that they would be happy if they got all of the things that they did, and then they get it and they're not happy. And like, I don't know, it's just very like individualistic, which I think is fine, but also it's like looking back, it's like pre fucking 9/11 and the Afghanistan war and like just so many crazy things.
Yeah.
And like COVID and shit, and like I'm never gonna own land.
No.
Those people didn't have like fucking $100,000 in like college like loan debt.
Yeah.
I'm getting real political on these pods lately, dude. I gotta fucking tamper down.
What else was I gonna say?
How are you?
I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not supposed to let you know that. But anyway, I'm tired. I got a couple shows tonight, and they're going to be fun, probably. Well, Live from Outer Space will be real fun.
What's the other one you got?
Group Therapy, which I did last week, and I played the drums, and I can't stop thinking about it. But it'll be good. And I'm going home next week.
Hell yeah.
Wait, no, we're going to Cleveland, and then I go home to Washington.
Yes.
And we got all these plans. I'm going fishing with my dad.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be fun.
Not crabbing.
My friend.
that fucking Instagram post is so funny. Can you find it?
Yes, I actually was planning on bringing it up. So,
Basically, if you want to find it, I'll tell the. Oh,
yeah.
You do. Okay.
My dad loves going fishing. We used to go all the time when we were like kids, and we'd have to like pee
Same
in a
with
bucket.
my dad. Weird.
Oh yeah, your dad. We have the same dad.
The same dad.
Followed. And we would take my friend Sierra, who you met sometimes, and she made this post. She just happened to post this like 5 days ago. And I'm about to go fishing with him next week. And her Facebook post was Sierra High is waking up at 5 a.m. to go crabbing, smiley face. And then under the post, I wrote this. This is from 2009. So this is like 13, 14 years ago. She wrote crabbing, right? I wrote fishing, not crabbing. My dad started yelling at me when I thought we were crabbing at that specific location. You don't crab there, Brittany. You fish there. We fish when we crab at Nisqually, but we only fish at this particular bay. And then I said, so don't make the mistake of talking about crabbing on the way there tomorrow. He was obviously really pissed.
Dude, this is the cycle of abuse.
How he talks.
This is the cycle of abuse.
Exploding about the wrong word in the wrong context.
Dude, your dad yelled at you, and now you're yelling at Sierra. That's what's going on.
I yelled at her because I was afraid my dad was going to see that on my page.
Yeah.
Like I'm spreading the wrong information about where we crab.
You come home and your dad, like, it's dark and he turns on one light and he's like, who the fuck have you been telling that we're going crabbing? You know we don't go crabbing in the bay!
We only fish in the bay. We crab sometimes in another bay where we fish, but we only fish in this bay. He's like drawing on a whiteboard. Like it's actually really simple, but the way he said it is so complicated.
Yeah.
That when I read this, I'm like, I know that's exactly what he said. Probably because I thought about it over and over because I was
too specific,
like,
too.
It's way too specific. And he talks in all caps and he writes in all caps because he's a military guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, fishing will be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I used to cry when we'd catch fish. I am not going to do that this time.
Wait, why did you cry? Because you were afraid you were hurting them?
We'd catch the fish and there'd be a bunch in a cooler and I'd have to watch them slowly die.
Oh, yeah.
I was bored on the boat, so I would open the cooler and just watch them.
Watch them die.
I'd get real sad. And then I'd start crying and I'd tell my dad we had to throw them back. But they're going to die in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would also cry when I went fishing with my dad. And this is the difference between you and me. I would cry because my brother would catch bigger fish and then he'd get more attention.
Oh, how did he catch? Just because he was stronger?
I don't know. It's probably
Faster,
just
maybe?
chance, but like he caught a big bass one time, and then my dad was like, "Oh shit, great job, Owen!" And then I was crying, and my dad was like, "Ali, God made sunfish for little kids to catch." That's what he said to me.
And you're mad at Owen because you're like, you deserve the bigger fish because you're the one that needs more reasons for your dad to love you.
I know. I'm not going to go to jail in the future,
I'm the
Owen.
one struggling here. He doesn't look at me. Let me catch the fish. My dad thinks like me and Sierra are lucky with fishing because one time we went with him and we caught like the maximum that time, like within a few hours, which never happened to him at that point. So to this day, he still thinks we're lucky and like begs us to go with him.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
But then he gets mad at us at the same time for just catching up on the boat instead of watching the pole like really intently.
Yeah, he's like, ladies, this isn't time for talking. This is time for fishing, not crabbing.
Fishing, not crabbing is a shirt for us.
Fishing, not crabbing, yes. All big block caps letters. And then a picture of your dad yelling like this.
And the back's like, big time. Just every word.
Oh, my fucking God.
But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. It'll be nice to see my family. I took the whole week off, so I can
so you can actually have time off.
I'm going to see the little nieces and nephews and figure out ways to make fun of people who decide to have kids because I'm not going to do it. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
I got to build my
perspective. We're in global boiling.
You know?
We're in global boiling. That's
boiling?
Literally what they fucking said, dude. I don't know who they are.
I love that
Some
phrase.
Scientists are like, oh, it's not global warming anymore. It's global boiling.
Because we've given up on... Yeah. Warming is too like, that sounds nice.
Yeah, but also
like
I think it's
up.
like reached another level now.
Yeah.
It's leveled up, the global warming.
Yeah.
Don't make me get political again.
Who's maybe multiple people are doing some form of this joke, but The idea that you could get Republicans on board if you just called it global transitioning.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I know exactly who. I know exactly the joke you're talking about.
A few jokes with that premise, though.
Yeah. I know the joke that you're talking about, but I forget who it is.
Yeah, me too.
But it's a good idea. Because then they'll be like, wait, we got to stop it now.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, I know. Gross.
That's the Republicans, all right?
Yeah, no, that is not the the views and opinions expressed by Brittany on this podcast right now are not the views and opinions. As you all know,
our only view that we will express publicly and strongly is that we are the only anti-gang rape podcast. Worthless clowns. Go back and listen to Mike Racine's episode. I can't believe we brought him up again. We should have a talk about how we can only bring him up every 3 episodes.
I know, yeah, we bring him up every episode because we know he's listening. And I'm sure
he hasn't even mentioned it recently.
And I'm sure he's
Come
pausing.
on, Mike, message us.
I know. I'm sure he's pausing the podcast in his car right now.
He replays the part?
No, he's responding to it.
Oh yeah, because Mike... We should just have him as part of the pod because we talk about him so much.
I know.
But for anyone who doesn't
Andy
know,
Richter.
He listens to the pod and he will pause it and then act as though he's here and respond with his own take on the sentences that we just used. And that's what I do. I say stuff like that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that'd be fun.
Do you got a stupid story?
Oh yeah, which one should I tell? Oh, actually I have another date story that I didn't run by you, but
fucking lay it on me.
Okay. One time I went on this date. This was a couple of years ago. And it was just like a Tinder or Hinge thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's profile. Okay, first of all, he looked too attractive in a way that makes me think I'm not attracted to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when they're like too classically handsome.
Or just you can tell that they know that they look good and it's to a point that you sense that you're not gonna like who they are.
Yes. No. Yeah. Like guys who are like too concerned with the way that they look. I'm like, you're not gonna be nice to me.
Yeah. There's gonna be a problem. Yeah. I can just tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it a chance, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna like him. Even
though
he's
I'll get railed by this
objectively
himbo,
hot.
but I'm not gonna like him.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I was like, I think I need to have sex with somebody, so who cares? So I go on this date. In his profile, it said something about having gone to Barcelona, traveling, which actually is another thing that I hate. I don't like travel information in your profile.
Dude, no.
Don't care.
This is what it is. People who have no personality think that having traveled makes them interesting. Yeah. And it's like, that's
I don't care if we lose any followers
snapping.
over that. Yeah, thanks, Maxim.
Because it's like, it's the only thing about them that they were like, look, I was in a different location. And I'm like, oh, you're not interesting. You just have money.
Yes.
That's like literally all it fucking is.
And then it's usually the only story they tell when you go on the date.
Yeah, they're like, you'll never believe what I did in Malaysia. And I'm like, I don't care, dude. Like, fucking... It's not about you. It's about the place that you went. It's not even about you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not about you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have been on Hinge so much.
I can't stand it. And it's usually a thing that I'm like, that's bad. Leave that out of your profile.
Yeah, and it's like, I know, God.
Mm-hmm. Let me find that out, like, just through conversation.
Yeah.
And then I can make a big deal of it if I think it's something I want to know about.
Yeah.
And then I can be like, oh my God, did you climb mountains there?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like if the conversation is really boring, then I'll ask you about where you traveled.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are like, have you traveled? I'm like, I've been to Ireland like 60 times.
Yeah.
To the fucking country to visit my Uncle Jack who has one tooth and a lazy eye and 3
I've
lesbian
traveled
daughters.
a lot. Follow my podcast.
Yeah, I know.
I have traveled a lot, and I don't bring it up much.
Because you have other things about you, Brittany.
Yeah.
You have other things.
Yeah. The travel memories, I feel like, are mostly for me.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
I was in, can you imagine me with different scenery? That's what I do. I put myself in different scenery.
I know.
And I look at objects that I hadn't seen before.
In person.
Can you imagine me
and then I
seeing things I haven't seen yet?
That is every Hinge profile with the guy who's like, I travel a lot. Oh my God. And then he's like, and then I asked that somebody to take a picture of me in front of this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I talked to them in a condescending way just because they had an accent because I was speaking English.
I know,
and they
it
weren't.
is always the people who are the most culturally disrespectful who travel the most.
Yeah,
It's absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
They either go that way or they go the other way of thinking that they know everything about every culture because they've been to like 7 countries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, it's actually really interesting. When I was in Thailand, they did this thing. And I'm like, oh my God, boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
The only thing I cared about from Thailand was when I met those elephants and cleaned their ears, which we've already talked about on the pod. But it wasn't about Thailand. It was about emotional bonds with elephants.
Emotional bonds.
And that tells you way more about me than me being in Thailand.
A one-way emotional bond with an elephant. Because that elephant was like, oh, another stranger's cleaning my ears. This is really intimate and weird for me.
Someone else cleaned them an hour ago.
I know. Those elephants.
They're probably over-cleaned.
I know.
They're probably overproducing oil. Their bodies are all messed up. Man, I never thought about that. They're getting cleaned all day.
I know.
Anyway, so this travel guy, we're gonna meet up, right? I don't really remember much else about his profile. Not a lot to say. And we meet up and we sit down for a drink. And I'm like, okay, I can tell I won't really like this guy, but I'm gonna see what happens. We sit down for a drink and he goes, we start talking and then somehow comedy comes up. I don't like write it in my profile these days, but I have a picture where I'm performing.
Yeah, I don't have anything about comedy in my profile because I'm already off-putting enough.
Yeah, well, I need them to know so that it's a shield.
I usually talk to them a little. I usually tell them before the first date.
Yeah, well, I'll tell them if they're like, oh, are you doing stand-up in that picture?
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, yeah.
Are you doing stand-up or doing a TED Talk in a bar?
Yeah. They always go with karaoke first. I'm
yeah.
Okay.
And you don't look like you're singing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
You're like, in all of the pictures that people take of me on stage, I'm like this. Imagine if I was singing like that.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, there was an opportunity for him to find out.
Yeah.
Before the date, right? Somehow it came up. Oh, we were asking each other what we do for work. Really good first date. So fun.
Yeah. How many siblings
really,
you each have?
Yeah. Enjoyable. Barely got through this beer. We barely had a few sips of the beer. And then he asked me what I did for work. And I was like, well, I do this, but I really like this. This is like what I really get excited by. That sounds so stupid. I don't say it like that on a date. But. And then I tell him I do stand up and he freaks out. He goes, what?
In a bad way?
He's like, wait, you do stand up? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh my God. And then I'm
absolute worst reaction you could get.
I'm like, what? What's the problem? And he's like, oh, I don't know. It's just, I dated somebody who did stand up. And he was like, his whole demeanor changed completely. Like he was fearful. For real. Like nothing had happened. He finds out I do stand up and he's scared of me.
Oh my God. Some girl talked about his dick size on stage and he hasn't been able to get past it. I'm
pretty sure that's what happened.
Because there's nothing else about him that's interesting to talk about on stage, I'm sure.
So then he goes, I dated somebody who was a stand up and he wouldn't tell me like what happened, but he was so emotional.
Did he tell you who it was?
No.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to know, but he wouldn't.
Really?
No. He was being like really, really guarded about the whole thing. Like as soon as he found out I was a comic, he wouldn't really talk to me anymore.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. And so then I was just like, oh, like it's okay. Like, you know, like I kind of get it, I guess. Like what happened is something. And then he made it sound like something really bad happened.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it really was just that his ego got hurt because she did material.
And that's also the worst thing that can happen to a man.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that they get
feeling
a little embarrassed.
At one point in their life.
I know. And then they're like, that was the most traumatic experience of my entire life.
So then he wouldn't say anything, but we just sat down with our beers. And I was like, well, let's at least finish our beer and like we can talk over our beer or whatever. And I'm not gonna hurt this guy. Like
I know, yeah.
He was like acting like I was gonna snap at him at any moment after that. It was insane. So then we kept talking and I was like, oh, like, how's Barcelona? I couldn't remember anything to talk about. So I was like, oh yeah, he traveled or whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, it was good. And I was like, did you go like alone or what? And he's like, no, me and my partner. And then I was like, all right. He was mad. Wait, first of all, he was mad that I didn't tell him I was a comedian before we went on the date. He was like pissed. He was like, it's wrong that you didn't tell me that.
Oh, he berated you?
He made me feel, he was trying to make me feel guilty for not having been open about being a comedian before he met up with me.
And then he's like, my partner.
Then he says my partner. And I'm like, oh, so you're seeing other people? Or what? I didn't say that, but
or like you're in an open relationship or something. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you didn't tell me.
Oh my fucking God.
And that's a much more normal thing to expect before you meet up with somebody.
Yes.
Is knowing something about whether or not they're like in that type of thing or looking for something more like monogamous. So it was just so weird because he thought those two were like equally like I was hiding something equally
as important to the relationship.
As important to like bring up. Before.
Yeah, like I mean, okay, maybe it's really, really important to him to know whether or not you're a stand-up comedian.
But ask.
But it's really important.
You saw a picture of me performing and you didn't ask.
It's really important to every single person on earth.
Yes, yeah.
If you're like in an open relationship or not, whether like no matter how they feel about it.
Yeah.
So they know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's insane for you to be like, I gotta tell every guy before we go on a date.
Just so you know, some people are real weird about this. Yeah. And I want you to know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah. It's okay if you don't want to go on the date anymore. I get it.
Yeah. But he, like, if it's that important to him, he should like look for signs of it in the profile. There's a picture of me performing.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, she might be a comic. I'll find out. If I'm interested, I'll ask her. Yeah. Or whatever. Didn't do that. But made me feel so bad about it and then wouldn't talk to me and his walls were up. And then at some point, he was just like, I gotta go. And he didn't finish his beer and he like left real fast. The date lasted like 15 minutes.
Oh my, wait, when was this?
This was like 2 years ago.
Oh my
Maybe it might have been longer than that.
What a fucking idiot. God, I hate that guy.
It was crazy.
That guy's so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. Did I tell you about that one time I went on a date with the stupidest guy I've ever met in my entire life?
No.
It was during the pandemic, and
we can talk about how stupid he is because we're admittedly dumb.
Yeah. But this guy's next level dumb.
All right.
And not like dumb in a way where there's something wrong, just like dumb in a really regular way. You know what I mean?
Oh, like not even like interesting dumb.
Yeah, like the lights are on, but no one's home. Dumb.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And like we were like talking, and he had a bunch of tattoos. And
yeah, you gotta have if you're gonna be dumb. You gotta be a dumb where you say a lot of dumb, funny stuff.
Yeah.
Not you're dumb to the point where there's nothing to say.
Yeah.
And you're just empty.
Yeah.
And being filled up.
Yeah.
You have to fill something else up.
Yeah, you have to have some other characteristic that, you know what I mean?
Even if you're filling up with dumb words, that's better than everyone filling you up.
Yeah. Because he just sat there the whole time.
He
sat there the whole time, was like, dur, 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 dur. And I was like, bro.
Was he just pointing to objects and being like, that's a ball?
No,
like, he wasn't. I know this. You're not filling me up.
He wasn't a 2-year-old, Brittany.
What was he saying though?
He he had a bunch of tattoos, and he had like a tattoo of a spider like on the back of his arm. And I'm like, why do you have a tattoo of a spider? And he's like, 'cause I used to be really afraid of spiders. And then I saw one in the corner of my room and I was really afraid of it. And then I went up to the spider and I realized it was dead. And then I wasn't afraid of spiders no more.
How did that resolve his fear?
I don't know. But also the way that I just told it is maybe 1/100th of how long the actual story was. Like he talked about it like it was this like journey of him overcoming some shit.
Like what happened is that he was afraid of the spider. Sorry, I'm burping a ton. It took him, he couldn't approach it because he was so scared.
Yeah.
And he waited so long it died.
Yeah.
And then all that build up to him approaching it was him processing it and being like, it's not that bad. You're not scared or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that he thought about it that much.
I don't think he thought about it like that. But maybe that's what happened, is that because it died within that time frame, and it was like a fear he was worried about but never had to face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying, and this is a very smart way to have gone about it. I don't think that he thought about it in this way.
Like, my ex, the bad one.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to see him at a wedding a couple of years ago. Like, maybe a year and a half after we broke up finally.
Yeah.
And I was so worried about having to see him. And I was like, for like a year, I was like preparing to have to see him, like mentally, and being like, this is going to be hard, but it'll be fine, whatever, you'll see him. And I was doing like in therapy, I was like, okay, it's coming up and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was all ready to do it and felt all good about it. And then the wedding, it didn't get canceled, but I couldn't go because it was in New Zealand. And it was like right when COVID hit.
Oh, yeah.
So all that, and I never saw him.
And that's why you have
like
a tattoo.
The spider dying.
That's why you have a tattoo of him now.
Yeah. That's why I have a tattoo of weddings in general. It doesn't make any sense. Just like the spider doesn't make any sense.
I know. And then
and now I'm not afraid of going to weddings. That's how I pieced it all together. It's just like the logic is like not there.
It makes no sense. And then he had a tattoo across his chest that was like writing, and I was like, oh, what does that say? I was just asking about his tattoos because he was a fucking dumbass, and I had no way of talking to him any other way.
And he had no real meaning behind any of them.
No, he was like, oh, it was like writing on his chest, and I was like, what does it say? And he's like, I don't remember, but I wrote it.
What?
He said, I don't remember, but I wrote it.
Could you not read any of it?
Well, it was like he was wearing like a button-up. Okay, you're getting a real good picture of this guy. He was wearing a button-up shirt, but it was like kind of open, like up to here. Also, his name was Giovanni. And he was hot, though. These are the guys that I'm into, dude. We
haven't talked about guys in a long time on this podcast.
I know, yeah.
Soak it up. We're going to be talking about bugs the next 5 episodes. So you better soak up this dude talk.
Soak up this dude talk.
We're doing bugs, mammals. What else is there?
Crabs, which are bugs. Crabs are just shrimps is bugs,
There is
man.
a plant episode coming up. We got to do that.
Oh, yeah, we got to do the
murder
plant episode.
Maybe in Cleveland we could watch that together.
Yeah, we can watch it on the flight over.
Yeah. Anyway, Giovanni.
That was it. That guy was so dumb. And then he's like at the end of the date, he was like, you don't want to come home with me? And I was like, no, I got to go. And he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Can you imagine in what world
this has happened to me before?
Would he have been like, are you sure? And I would have been like, you know what?
You got a point there. You got a point. You didn't say anything, but I decided you had a point somehow.
Yeah.
I decided you had a point about the spider, even though you said nothing about that.
And then he texted me immediately after and was like, just to let you know, I'm not looking for anything serious.
Like, hey, you could have just come over and slept with me.
Yeah.
One time.
He's like, don't think that you're getting a second date out of me. And I'm like, what?
So weird.
So
preemptive,
strange.
Like he thinks you're rejecting him, so he was like, I'm breaking up with her.
Yeah.
One time, this is related. I went on a couple dates with this guy, and it was like, I don't know, he was nice, but I didn't feel a connection or anything. And after the second date, I was like, yeah, I'm sending that message.
Yeah.
The whole like, you're great. I don't really see you going anywhere.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I hope it's in that tone, too. You
sound like
you sound like Winnie the Pooh and Seinfeld.
And Melissa Villaseñor.
What?
You're great.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Melissa Villaseñor.
So I started saying her last name, and I was like, I don't know if that's right.
Villaseñor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tortilla. Every time there's double L, I'm like, tortilla.
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
That's where tortilla came in before. I was like, it's guillotine.
I thought it was guillotine.
But a lot of people say
and you're
guillotine.
Like, guillotine. And I was like, oh yeah, tortilla.
Yeah. But also enough people say guillotine that I think it's like also a pronunciation that people say. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. There's a bunch of words that are from another language that we don't say right.
There's a really good song by Death Grips called Guillotine. Guillotine. Everyone check it out.
Oh, good.
I love that band.
Oh, that's
They're
the whole
insane.
thing.
Yeah. Every time I think of guillotine, I'm surprised I didn't say it before. I think of Death Grips.
Yeah.
They
and
got
tortilla.
And tortilla. The video is just a guy in a car listening to music and being like it's one of the guys in the band.
Yeah.
He's listening to the song. The song is crazy. And everything behind him is static like a TV. But it's mesmerizing.
And
even though it's really simple, it's like...
And is it one shot or does the camera move?
It's one shot.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I'll post like a screen grab of it or whatever.
Screen
Is that how you
grab.
say that? Anyway, sorry. I'll finish the story real quick and then we can move on.
Yeah.
This guy, he was like, I don't know, it was fun. I wasn't really that interested though. He was like maybe too interested. Maybe that's what put me off partly. And then I said,
it's weird
I sent
when people
the text,
go like full throttle at you
I know.
on a first date.
Yeah.
And they're like,
you're pretending to know me.
Yeah,
you don't.
They're like, you're everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
And also like men get the like ability, they have like the privilege of doing that.
Yeah.
Cause like sometimes it works with women.
Mm-hmm.
But like if a woman ever acts like that, then men are like, ugh.
I know.
You know what I mean?
They start spitting on the ground in a cartoon way. They're like,
yeah.
Tooey.
Even if you're like, hey, I kind of like hanging out with you. 2 months in, they're like, whoa.
Oh my God.
Clingy.
I know.
Holy shit.
One time I was seeing a guy.
Wee woo.
For like 6 months we'd been seeing each other.
Yeah.
And he was like leaving for several weeks.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't really say much at all before. Like I never was too clingy or anything like that. And he was leaving for 3 weeks or something. And I was like, oh, I'm going to miss you.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? I'm like, we've been hanging out for 6 months. And me saying I will miss hanging out
so normal.
Is freaking you out.
So normal,
He
dude.
like kind of freaked out.
That's so insane.
Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, I'll finish this real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not really into it, whatever. And then the reason I'm saying this is because it's like related to that guy's text where he was like, well, I'm not looking for anything serious. I want you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like in case he was like, you could have come over and it could have been casual or something.
Yeah.
This guy, I told him I didn't want to see him anymore. And then he was like, oh man, I thought it was going well. I'm disappointed. Oh, that sucks. And then like a week later, I get another text and it's like, hey, so would you tell me like why more or something?
How many dates did you go on with this guy?
Like 2.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No,
And
you don't owe him
then
closure.
I just repeated what I'd said previously, but used different words.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I already said it.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to say.
And also it's like, I'm not going to say the things that are going to hurt your feelings. Like your mouth moves weird when you talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or the whole thing where it's like, look, I really want something, and I tried really hard to see something in you, and I didn't see anything at all. That's the part you leave out of the message. I didn't say that. I'm like, do you want me to say that? I could say I looked from every perspective I could find
to
and
see if this could work
there that made me want to keep trying.
I want to be with somebody more than you want to be with me, dude.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I'm really trying over here. And guess what? You still fucked up. Completely
empty. Anyway, then like 2 days later, he's like, hey, well, like it could just be casual. Like, have you thought of that? And I'm like, of course I thought of that.
Yeah.
So then I had to do it 3 times.
Oh my
Same
God.
thing, different words.
Yeah.
3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're just asking me to make you feel bad over and over.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted a different version of it, I could have said that.
Yeah.
In the first text, I could have been like, what do you think about this?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway.
That sucks.
Yep.
I hate
5 more episodes till we talk about any dating stories.
Yep. Bugs only from here on out.
Bugs. Rhinoceros. Next episode.
Bugs rhinoceros.
I don't know anything about rhinoceros. Sources.
Rhinoceros?
Rhinoceros. Tortilla. All right, should we get into this post?
Let's get into the post, baby. We're going to read a post from an internet user from mitheasshole.com.
Yeah. Also, please email us your stories.
Yes.
DM us. Send us a voice memo of your story.
Yeah,
we'll read it on the pod. We'll play it on the pod.
Yeah. You could send us a voice memo over Instagram or to our email, or just right into our email. It's worthlessclownspod@gmail.com.
Yep. Yeah. Somebody, I don't know who you are, but you know who you are. And it's not Mike.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote in and was like, I've got stories.
Do you want to hear them?
Do you want to hear them? And we do want to hear them.
I know.
So send the
And then they
story.
never emailed us back.
You
that was
piece
weeks
of
ago.
shit. You're like dangling some prize in front of us.
Yeah. Also, they were
I want that story.
Also, it's insane to be like, I have some
You're not a piece of
stories.
shit.
Do you want to hear them? Instead of just writing the story. Just write the story in the first email.
And it doesn't have to be a perfectly written essay.
No.
Although we will make fun of anything we can out of it.
Yeah. No, totally. It's like when your friends.
It's better if it's not perfect.
I have friends who text me, who will text me out of the blue, hi.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you want? If you texted me and gave me information in the first text, I wouldn't be angry.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you're trying to ask me for something, don't say hi first.
You gotta get a headline in there.
Yeah. They say hi and nothing else.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you piece of shit.
Especially when it's like, hi, and it's caps and a bunch of exclamation points.
Oh, I've never had that.
Is something good about to happen? And then hours go by and nothing happens.
I know. God. All right, let's get
And I'm like, did they just walk into a car? They were going to say something awesome to me, and it's my fault that they walked into that car?
Oh, you mean get hit by a car?
Yes. Walked in front of a car. I said walked into a car. From your perspective, it sounded like I just said, did they just get into a car?
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. And I'm like, Brittany, do you mean get hit by a car?
Yeah.
And you're like, and now it's my fault that they're sitting in that car.
And now they're just sitting in that car, not remembering to finish their text. No, I thought they were dead. Okay, here's the post. Am I the asshole for calling a baby ugly? Seriously, your ob's gonna judge me. You don't have to write it like this.
Yeah.
If you write in, you can write it like that, but this guy, just don't know. You don't have to overdo it.
Also, we've talked about this on the pod. I hate children, and I am fine with calling any baby ugly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't hate children.
Remember that Seinfeld episode?
Which one?
They go to see a baby, like, upstate, and it's, like, hideous. And everyone has to pretend that it's, like, also, an attractive baby.
You're like, they go to see a baby upstate? It sounds like they traveled all the way upstate to, like, a farm that has a baby on it.
Like it's an attraction.
Yeah,
it's so
like a
ugly.
Museum with the world's ugliest baby in it.
But yeah, so then like Jerry and Elaine are pretending that it's like a nice looking baby, but they can't look at it. It's like that hideous.
Yeah.
And then Kramer walks in and like does his thing where he like
it's like physical comedy.
It's like he's being struck by lightning.
Yeah. He moves in the same way that Betty does.
Oh yeah.
Whole body movement.
They both move like really scared deer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy, am I the asshole for calling a baby ugly? You're obviously going to judge me, but it's just not true. Not all babies are cute.
True.
I agree. Maybe to the mother alone, but certainly the old adage. Did I say that right?
What is
adage?
It? Adage?
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 Adage. There's some words I just don't know how to say.
The old adage. Dude, adage.
That's how I say it in my head.
Adage sounds like a 90s R&B artist.
Adage. So it's adage?
It's at the old adage, right, Maxon?
Adage.
Yeah. I've never read that word before. But
I only read it too.
I've never read that word. I couldn't even start to spell it, but I was using context clues.
ADAGH. I almost said HD.
Wait, it ends with an H?
No, ADAGH. But I almost said ADHD. ADHD. God.
GHB.
It's a letters pod now. Different letters and strings that are differently arranged. A new podcast by the host of Worthless Clown. Letter strings.
God.
God, we've only read one sentence.
I know.
I'm
The old
sweating.
a DJ.
I love when people say stuff wrong.
The
though.
old ADHD.
It's all water under the fridge.
Oh, water under the fridge.
Okay.
Hey, you open this can of worms. Now you gotta lay in it.
The old adage, sounds wrong when I say it. A face only a mother can love comes from somewhere. So to that end, I feel my point is made. The way he wrote this, he spent too much time writing it and putting a lot of commas in it.
Yeah.
There are like lots of clauses that actually make it annoying.
He's putting his whole pussy into this post.
Yeah. On this day, I was grocery shopping with my wife. It should be noted that the community I live in has a long history of inbreeding.
What?
Wait. Inbreeding rumors swirling about.
Rumors?
I mean, they came from somewhere. There's some inbreeding in there. Swirling about as part of a very exclusive group that lives here. Google the Habsburg jaw.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll understand. Do you know about this?
Yeah, so there's like a German like string of royalty from like a long time ago, like the 1800s or some shit, the Habsburgs. And there's here, I'll look up a picture of it, but they were so like severely inbred that they had like all the same deformity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then it like that same deformity, like they made it like famous and
yeah. And it became like a status symbol?
It became a status symbol, but also...
Oh, really? I was kind of kidding.
No. Like in Germany at the time it did, but also the deformity now is still called the same thing.
Oh.
It's like a big protruding lower jaw. Like think like Quentin Tarantino's jaw.
Oh, it does look like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that came from inbreeding?
Yeah. I don't know if Quentin Tarantino's did, but... but it looks like you have
so
like...
many diagrams here.
Yeah. It's
Everybody
like a
look
real
it up.
thing.
We'll post a picture. There's a girl who's all Instagram makeuped out, showing off her jaw. Look at
it. Also, she looks really hot. She just has like a pointed jaw.
Yeah.
And then they put it next to a picture of the ugliest person I've ever seen in my entire life. Like it's comparable.
Yeah. It's a weird picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so Habsburg jaw. God, I need help with stuff. As we were heading to the checkouts, there was a mother in line at the checkout, besides the one we were approaching.
Okay, also one more thing. It looks like Quagmire.
Yes. It does.
Okay, anyway.
She was holding her baby in such a way that her mom's back was to us and the baby's head was clearly visible above the mom's shoulder. Why can't you just say, I could see the baby's face?
Yeah.
Why is he describing it
You're getting real pissed off at this guy.
I don't like the writing. I have to think really hard when I read this.
Yeah. He's not making it easy.
And I'm like, I don't know the word adage. And now I'm like, it's because this guy sucks at writing and he had to use a big word and he made me feel insecure about knowing a word. So now I'm just like attributing my, I'm making it all about him instead of me.
Yeah, but I'm on your side. This guy
you.
sucks.
Yeah. This baby's face was hard to look at. The child wasn't obviously disfigured in any notable way, but there were obvious signs. See quoted term above.
Habsburg jaw.
Habsburg jaw.
Yeah.
As I noted, some babies just aren't as cute as others. He's like doing that Chris Rock thing where he's restating the premise
over and over again.
In the post.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense for stand-up, but he's doing it here.
Yeah.
I feel like he was reading like tips about how to write an interesting story while he wrote this.
Yeah.
And it's not that good. It reminds me a lot of the meat post.
Oh, the guy who threw a steak at the window?
The guy threw a steak at a window.
Yeah.
Because he thought it was open and the steak slid down the window and he embarrassed his wife in front of like her coworker and friends or whatever. That guy wrote in a way too where he was
very
like,
similar to this, yeah.
He was like, I'm a good writer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend a month on this
post. I'm gonna tell a story with my words.
As I noted, some babies just aren't as cute as others. I live in a rural community and have my entire life. There are comments, phrases, and remarks we make that are specific and understood amongst ourselves that we understand that may be foreign to others.
Oh my God.
I hate this guy so much. The surprise and jolt of shock of the moment almost forced one of these comments out of me as I attempted to whisper to my wife, "Sweet Jesus, that kid's got a face like a can of smashed assholes." Can of smashed assholes is like the funniest.
Also,
the image.
Also, okay.
They're all in water.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like pickled.
Yeah.
Also, here's the thing.
They look like figs, right? But they're wet.
Oh, yeah.
A can of wet asshole?
Dried figs.
Yeah. They look like dried figs.
Yeah.
In a can of water.
Yeah.
That's a can of smashed assholes.
But also, here's what I'm thinking.
It's going to be a picture.
Assholes aren't that like pretty anyway. Why do they have to be smashed?
Yeah, I don't really
You know what I mean?
They
Like,
seem already smashed, but inwards.
yeah, little balloon knot.
Unless you have an external hemorrhoid. And then you're out.
You said that. You said, unless you have an external hemorrhoid.
And I don't know what fruit that is that's dried and put in a can with water in it, but I'll figure it out by the end of this.
I think you're thinking of like sun-dried tomatoes or something.
Ooh, yeah. Good imagery.
Ooh, yeah.
Sweet Jesus, that kid's got a face like a can of smashed assholes, but I fear that I wasn't as quiet as I hoped. This is so confusing. So he thinks the mom heard him say this, is what he's getting at. As we left, the mother, whose grocery order was larger than ours, gave me a look and told me in no uncertain terms she knew I made a comment, although the language barrier in our community leads me to believe she probably didn't know what I said.
What?
But she just told you that she knows.
Yeah, she knows you said a rude thing.
In no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
Indeed, my wife wasn't happy. But even she had to admit I had a point. I always go for the laugh. This was a time I wish I could have caught it before it left my mouth. TL, too long, didn't read. I call a baby ugly. First of all, I don't think it's bad that he called a baby ugly.
I think that it was bad that he said it loud enough for the mom to fucking hear it.
Oh, yeah.
And also not being like there's a difference between being like, oof.
And saying
and then
can
pointing.
Of smashed
Yeah,
assholes.
yeah, there's a very distinct difference there.
She'll never forget that.
Yeah. And then she makes the kid's middle name Can of Smashed Assholes.
This kid probably is going to grow out of whatever weird look he has right now.
Yeah.
And the mother is never going to stop seeing a can of smashed assholes because of this guy.
I have to Google a can of smashed assholes.
That's not going to show up.
Hold on.
It's figs. I'm telling you, it's wet figs.
A can of smashed assholes.
They're all separated too.
Used to describe a very homely
phrase.
Yeah, but
I thought you thought you were going to see a Google image of it.
No. It came up on Urban Dictionary, our favorite website, and it said used to describe a very homely individual. I'm going into images and I'm afraid of what I'm going to see.
No, please look.
Oh. It's a can of Campbell's soup.
It's Campbell's soup, like it's just Campbell's soup that says
smashed
assholes. Is that it?
I don't know, but I'm putting
There's no drawings?
I'm putting that on a t-shirt. I'm putting that. Okay, and then there's this meme that has like this exploding skull behind it, and it says, "I feel like a can of smashed assholes."
This makes no sense. This doesn't make sense. Why is this?
I am putting this fucking phrase into my rotation. It's so funny.
I feel like a can of smashed assholes. What is that supposed to mean? I feel
probably
like
bad.
Ugly? Oh, that's why the skull's all smashed. Because he doesn't like his face,
Brittany,
I guess.
Use your context,
I'm trying to understand
here.
people.
Oh my God. Oh, wait, here's another one. You can be confident and still look like a bag of smashed assholes. Bag. And then it has this very emotional drawing behind it.
It's a person with their hands on their face, like they're embarrassed. Man.
Oh my God.
somebody in the comments was like, hey, that's immature. What if you aren't good looking? Maybe people feel that way about you. You can of smashed assholes.
Dude, the baby wrote that comment.
I'm rubber, you're glue. And you're a can of smashed assholes. I don't know. Stupid. Cut that.
I thought you were reading that as a comment.
I started reading a comment and I didn't like it, so I just said gibberish. And then I regretted it.
Have you ever...
Nobody's saying anything that I like here.
Have you ever accidentally insulted somebody? Like you didn't mean it to sound the way that it did, but...
Yeah, and it was really mean.
What was it?
One time, I thought about this recently. One time I was with one of my good ex's groups of friends, and there's this one girl there who none of them really knew her that well, and she was really annoying. I can't remember how. This was like 10 years ago. So it's very blurry. But I remember her being like way too overly familiar with me in a way that, like, for a long time.
Yeah.
In a way that really bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And her saying things to me like she knew who I was.
Yeah.
And like she knew me in a deep enough way to make assumptions about me.
Yeah.
There was enough that happened because I don't snap like ever, but I snapped at her. And I didn't say a lot, but I think it came across real mean.
Do you remember what you said?
All I said was like, you don't know me. But it was in front of everybody and everybody was like, oh! And I think because they all know me and I never say anything like that, that they were like, that's big.
Yeah.
And it was really awkward after that. I never said sorry or anything. I probably should have, but I was just like,
well, she was being overly
why is she
familiar.
acting like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some people where they think that their idea of being nice is like being overly familiar with people. And being like, oh yeah, because you like that thing, right?
Yeah, I think I was just probably overwhelmed in that moment, and I was like trying to shut stuff down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I think everything that I say accidentally sounds mean.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It's obvious you're joking with people, I feel like.
I think it's obvious for you.
Yeah.
But I think that one thing that I've learned about my personality is that people take a long time to realize that I'm always joking. And so sometimes, like, when I first meet people, they think I'm
You're
just
like
a dick.
doing act outs of a dick, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, if you don't know, then you think that's just how I am because I'm doing it so frequently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, you do act outs as a person who's a dick, and I do act outs of a person who's kind of an idiot who doesn't understand people.
Act outs.
But half the time it is real.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't even know when it's...
Where's the
I don't know
line
when it's
between
an act out.
you
I don't know
and...
when I'm pretend dancing or not, either.